This year we celebrate 20 years of Nordoff Robbins music therapy in Scotland. During that time, the extraordinary work of our music therapists has changed the lives of some of the most isolated people in our society, and demand for music therapy continues to rise. The best birthday present we could wish for is for music therapy to be available to everyone who would benefit. To make this come true, we need your support. Follow the links at the end of this film to find out how you can help make music change more lives in Scotland. Here's just one family's story which we hope shows you how, for some people, Nordoff Robbins music therapy is absolutely essential. Amy is 15 years old and has been in music therapy with Nordoff Robbins for most of her life. She lives in Glasgow with her mum Wendy and her sister Faye.
Once you have a child with disability, it takes you a couple of years to get into the groove of things, to understand what's actually happened to you and what your child's needs are, because they evolve over time. And Amy, although there was many things that she liked, there were many things she distinctly didn't like, but her like for music stood out. So I felt my job as her mother was to find something that gave her huge pleasure in life, as well as enriching her life and helping her to move forward.
Amy has global developmental delay, which means although she's a teenager, she has the mental age of a toddler. Her condition is compounded by epilepsy, vision impairment and restricted mobility. For her, music therapy has been life-changing and is still a constant source of support.
We joined up with a therapist who basically had the magic touch, and she and Amy created something special. She gave Amy a voice, a way through the muddle that was Amy. Amy doesn't really know where her world starts and stops. So music then became very much a vehicle for Amy to communicate, to be happy, to live a life that others take for granted. Listen to
Since those early days, the family has moved from Edinburgh to Glasgow, and Amy has begun building a fresh relationship with her new music therapist, Gemma.
For somebody like Amy with profound learning disabilities who's non-verbal, having something where she can channel her energy and actually express herself and connect with somebody else and feel that she's being listened to and heard is crucial. I think that's where the value lies, in that music therapy doesn't need words. It doesn't need any explanation. It's all there in the music without any need for description or conversation. So for somebody like Amy, who obviously can't communicate in that way, it's invaluable.
Music brings, it sounds cliched, but music brings life to Amy. Amy's life is very difficult. Everything is a huge effort for her. The things that the rest of us take for granted, Amy has struggled to do. She didn't walk till she was 5. They said she would never walk, but she got there in the end. She has had epilepsy, she has had cancer, and music's been a constant in the background, egging her on, helping her to just get better, keep moving and achieving, if you like.
We maybe undersell the impact of music therapy, because for a lot of young people, it's probably the first thing that gives them access. It gives them access to better learning opportunities, gives them access to better opportunities for interaction and contact. And in some cases, it's the first thing and the only thing that makes that happen. I think that's not just a nice thing to do, but it's absolutely critical.
I think the hardest part of having a disabled child has been the uphill struggle it has been to get funding for her. You would take it for granted that you would be able to get help if somebody in your family is disabled and needs basic resources to help them flourish as a person. That money has never been forthcoming. Every single thing is a fight. Every single thing you want to do, you have to find funding for. Personally, look for the funding because it's not available to you and your disabled child.
I think when money's invested into people like Amy, there are dividends paid in other areas. And my contention would be that good music therapy would develop skills, would have such an impact that in actual fact it becomes very, very cost effective.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Music therapy has brought Amy home. She now is happy in her own skin. She's now at one with herself, whereas before she didn't know who she was. It's helped to find herself, given her a voice, given her something to look forward to, and given her something to experience and get joy from.
Everybody has that need to be acknowledged and listened to and supported. And music is probably the only way that Amy gets that. And there are lots of people out there who are in that very similar situation, who cannot express themselves using words, who cannot tell somebody how they feel. So for these types of people, music therapy is a must-have.
I would love to see Nordoff Robbins music therapy being really central in every school and every hospital, in the way that nowadays speech therapist, occupational therapist is an integral part of support for people with needs and so on. And I think that what I would love to see in 20 years' time from now is music therapists, Nordoff Robbins music therapists, playing a huge role as part of a multidisciplinary team. Access to music therapy where it's needed and where it will benefit is an absolute necessity.